Hi, I'm Marc De Ceuster. I'm a professor at the University of Antwerp in the Faculty of Business and Economics. I'm going to talk to you for a few moments in this video about why it could be interesting for you to study finance. Let me start with a quote from the previous CEO of Danone. And he said, well, finance without strategy, that's just numbers. But a strategy without finance, that's just dreaming. Now, what this quote tells you is that actually finance is extremely important for all kinds of decision makers. And doing business without numbers, that's actually only a dream. Now, two other quotes illustrate this further. The first one is of one of the professors I used to have a long time ago. And he said, well, if you really have a good idea, a really good business idea, you will always find funding for that, but you need to pitch it well. So actually what he was saying was, well, you can have any idea in the world, but on the financial side, you need to find the funding, and that would be crucial to realize your dreams. Another guy, which you all know, Warren Buffett, he said, well, earning and managing wealth are two different things. And if you understand the difference between those two, well, then you're really in business and then you're on a path towards wealth, as he showed before. If you hear these quotes, you clearly see that finance is very multidimensional, but it's very necessary in all kinds of domains. And that's why we are going to teach you first things about the business. We're going to teach you how banks think. Which kind of products do they offer to their clients? Why do they do that? How do they structure that? How do they manage risks? How do they help corporates in achieving their funding needs? On the other side, the corporates will need to understand as well what products are available, what they can ask from their banker and what not. So it all boils down to financial questions. We will need to teach you technical skills, because of course, if you take a look at an investment, you need to do some calculations to make sure whether this investment is profitable, yes or no. And we're going to learn to think in a global way, because, be honest, at this moment, business is actually something which is evolving on a global scale. We want to bring finance to you in an academic, sound way, but also in a practical way. And if you look at our staff, you will see that we've got academics on one hand, but these are sometimes people that serve on boards of directors, did consulting projects, they did executive training, so they're quite well familiar with practice. And on the other hand, we also have practitioners, but those quite often have a PhD and have a very good, solid background. So we try to mix, we try to blend the practice and the theory in one big, nice program. What do you need to know? Is finance something for everyone? Well, of course you need some basic understanding about numbers. And where do the numbers come from? The numbers come from the financial products, the financial markets, the accounting system. And of course you also need to know something about statistics. Because from the moment on we're talking about investments, well, we don't know what is going to happen in the future, but we might be able to put some probabilities on events and work with statistics in order to, well, ground actually the financial practice in solid academic theory. If you think about what can I do in the end with this kind of degree, well, there are so many roads that you can go. In the first place, a lot of people will enter into a corporate, into the business world. But you as well can actually apply for jobs in banks, be it commercial banks or investment banks, be it within an asset manager, or be it a private banker within wealth management, risk management. All these domains are accessible with a good, solid knowledge of finance. You can go to insurance companies. You can go to the Big Four, because auditors of course, also need people that are able to value financial products, to value companies within the whole range of services which they provide. You can go to consultancy business, you can go to the government. Some of you even might end up, like me, staying in academia. Of course, you don't need to work for someone else. It's perfectly possible that you actually end up being an entrepreneur. And then, of course, listening to the first message we had, well, if you build out a strategy to let your business grow, you can't do it without knowing the numbers. So, if you are convinced that actually you want to play a role in business, be it as a CEO, be it as a CFO, well, for sure, numbers will be important. And that might be for you a good reason to study finance.